Whatever happened to discipline? In recent decades, family life in Western lands has changed dramatically. At one time, parents were in charge, and children followed their lead. Now, in some households, it seems to be the other way around. For example, consider the following scenarios, all of which are based on typical situations. While at the store with his mother, a 4-year-old boy reaches out for a toy. His mother tries to dissuade him. "You have enough toys already, don't you?" Too late, she realizes that she should not have ended on a question. "But I want it," the boy whines. Fearing a tantrum, his usual ploy, Mom gives in. A 5-year-old girl interrupts her father as he is talking to another adult. "I'm bored," she announces. "I want to go home." Her father stops mid-sentence, stoops down to his daughter, and asks in a soothing voice, "Just a few more minutes, sweetie, okay?" Once again, 12-year-old James has been accused of shouting at his teacher. James' father is upset, not at his son, but at the teacher. "She's always picking on you," he says to James. "I'm going to report her to the school board." The preceding scenarios are imaginary. They are hardly far-fetched. They illustrate a real problem that exists in homes where parents tolerate children's rudeness, cave in to their demands, and rescue them from the consequences of their misconduct. It is increasingly common to see parents relinquishing authority to young children, says the book, The Narcissism Epidemic. Not that long ago, kids knew who the boss was, and it wasn't them. Of course, many parents do strive to teach their children proper values, not only by setting a good example, but also by giving firm but loving correction when needed. Nevertheless, parents who recognize the value of doing so are, as the book quoted earlier puts it, swimming against the cultural tide. How did things get to this point? Whatever happened to discipline? Parental authority weakens. Some say that a weakening of parental authority began in the 1960s, when so-called experts were urging parents to be more easygoing with their children. They said, "Be a friend, not an authority figure. Praise is better than discipline. Rather than correct the bad, catch your children in the act of doing good." Instead of striking a balance between commendation and correction, experts seem to imply that reprimanding children would damage their fragile emotions and cause them to resent their parents later in life. Before long, experts were also heralding the virtues of self-esteem. It was as if the secret to good parenting was suddenly discovered, and it was simply this: make your children feel good about themselves. Of course, it is important to instill confidence in children, but the self-esteem movement took things to an extreme. Experts told parents, avoid using negative words such as no and bad. Keep telling your children that they are special and that they can be anything they want to be. It was as if feeling good was more important than being good. In the end, some say that the self-esteem movement has done little more than make children feel entitled, as if the world owes them. It has also left many young ones ill-prepared for the inevitable criticism and occasional failure that is real life, says the book Generation Me. One father, quoted in that book, put it this way: "There is no self-esteem movement in the work world. If you present a bad report at the office, your boss isn't going to say, 'Hey, I like the color paper you chose.' Setting kids up like this is doing them a tremendous disservice." Shifting opinions. Over the decades, parenting practices have often reflected the ever-shifting opinions of humans. Discipline keeps changing, writes educator Ronald G. Moorish. It reflects changes in our society. The footnote reads, from the book Secrets of Discipline, 12 Keys for Raising Responsible Children. End of footnote. It is so easy for parents to be, as the Bible puts it, tossed about as by waves and carried here and there by every wind of teaching. Ephesians 4:14. Clearly, the current wave of relaxed discipline has had negative effects. It has not only weakened parental authority, but also left children without the guidance they need to make good choices and approach life with genuine confidence. Is there a better way? The following is supplementary information. Teaching the wrong lessons? Put yourself in the following situations. You are a soccer mom. After school and on weekends, you ferry your son and daughter from one activity to another. Skating lessons, piano lessons, soccer practice, anything to keep them active. I'm exhausted, you say to yourself. But my kids know that they are my life and that I would do anything for them. Isn't that what it takes to be a good mom? Consider, what lessons are your children really learning by having a mother who will wear herself out just to keep them involved? In time, might your children come to believe that adults, parents in particular, are here only to serve their children's needs? A better approach. Let your children see that you have needs too. This will teach them to have consideration for others, including you. You were raised by a harsh and critical father, so you have resolved to be the opposite with your children. At every opportunity, you praise your two boys, even when they have done nothing at all that was praiseworthy. It's important to make them feel good about themselves, you tell yourself. If they feel special, they'll have the confidence they need to succeed in life. Consider, what lessons are your sons really learning by receiving empty praise? Praise that is doled out just to make them feel good. How might overemphasis on your boys' self-esteem hurt them, both now and later in life? A better approach. Be balanced. Do not be overly critical of your children. At the same time, base your praise on actual effort. You are the mother of two girls, ages 6 and 5. The older girl tends to be hot-headed. Just yesterday, in a flash of anger, she punched her little sister in the arm. You reflect on how you handled the situation. I chose to reason with her rather than to reprimand her, you recall. After all, won't it damage my daughter if I tell her that she was being bad? Consider, is reasoning alone enough for a 6-year-old? Is it really harmful to use the word bad to describe the act of hitting a sibling? A better approach. Impose appropriate consequences for misbehavior. When administered in a loving manner, discipline will help your children learn to adjust their behavior. End of article.